Yeah. Let me mute myself. Well, American Red Cross.
Okay.
Go ahead and pull item number 3 from last year's letter, where it says the agency addresses fundamental needs, respond to local disasters, assisting local responders. I think that's pretty basic from last year's letter.
Okay. What was that?
Hey, Melanie, what number comment is that?
Number 3.
Yes. What about number 4? I thought the application was pretty good, unless we have some other issues.
I agree with number 4 too.
There was an error of not having any staff who were black, and
yes.
And there was one African American on staff, and she apologized. So. Turn the phones down.
Okay, so we'll...
Sure, I think you still could use it. Overall, the application was thorough, so I think number 4 still applies.
Yeah,
for sure. But I would mention, just check for
errors.
This is also the place where we could encourage them to look into more grant writing opportunities. It seems like that she's only applied for a couple, and the ones she has applied for, she hasn't gotten. So I don't know. I'm not sure if the problem is in how she writes them, or that she's not applying for that many, or what. But it seems like they could be encouraged to try to seek out more grant opportunities.
I thought we asked that question. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought she answered something about constraints at the national level.
Yeah, that was her issue with grants.
Right.
She went into about
allowed her to apply for. I don't know. There was some good answer on that.
It was something about national. I put national on my notes, but it wasn't. It was sufficient enough to not ask her a follow-up question, but it was like, okay, all right then.
I remember that. I remember that too. Yeah.
Because we were asking about the hurricane run as well, and she kind of went into. We're trying to bring her back. But if, to your point though, Melanie, and Pat, you can corral me into this. Can we have her speak to that in the application? Like if you're prohibited by something, or if it's made difficult because of your national organization. Something like that. Does that make sense, team?
Yeah, it does.
Because she was saying about the grant from Allstate, but that's it.
Mm-hmm.
She just explained what difficulties that she has because of being a national organization and applying for grants.
And I would still note that, to check for accuracy on the application.
Right.
Or errors, however you want to say it.
I think we go to, do we have anything else on the agency overall? Do you want to go ahead and hit the COVID stuff now?
We'll hit the COVID stuff. I think the biggest impact that she implied they were going to have is because the hurricane run was scheduled during the middle of all of this, that their anticipated income for the hurricane run is probably going to be about half of what they planned. But they did move it virtually, so they are committed for trying to adjust and try to change the fundraising to a virtual run, but that they still probably will not get as much as they were going to, and they had sponsors pull out because they didn't get as much bang for their buck with it being virtual.
A little bit about volunteers as well. I have something where, in terms of program implementation, the number of volunteers. Then she did mention a little bit about hurricane season and having to definitely looking for volunteers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's something that she's going to find will impact them more as things start to happen, if people are so afraid to go out and work in groups, and what they're able to do on site could be limited.
Yeah. I guess we should have honed in a little bit more because of, well, this is more so fires and things, but the shelters and things because of COVID and social distancing. Now I'm kind of mad I didn't ask that question. I think, was there anything else for COVID?
That was the main thing.
Okay.
I think one other thing, Jackie, that she or that we didn't ask, or it wasn't specified in the application. So she talked about accurately that they want to serve 400 clients, and so over the last 5-year history, the numbers have not met that level, and I guess I'll talk about that in outcome now that I'm thinking aloud what I'm talking about. But again, it could have been due to COVID as to the decline in services that they were able to offer to folks. Or just maybe it wasn't any disasters.
Gotcha. Cause that's, program design, that's Nicole. Nicole, are you ready? If not, we can do, Shan's part. Or we can go to budget.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Nicole.
I guess it sort of ties into that. They state goals, but they don't really state a lot of objectives in their program description section. I mean, the goals are lovely. They do a good job describing, but the question says, what are your goals and objectives? And they don't really start to break down their objectives there. Outreach and collaboration all looks fine. I guess my only comment would be like to clearly state objectives in the program description.
Okay, Shane, you're going to go ahead with your outcome.
I guess, the biggest thing is that, they have this measurable goal of approximately 400 clients. Over the last couple of years, it's been on the lower end, and that may tie into their justification for funding. But I also want to, make note is that they do not receive any federal or state funding, which I understand that piece and how it plays in. I think in terms of their goals that they have, the short-term and intermediate and long-term goals are very laid out and measurable. And I guess they can't control the factor as to how many clients that they will see. But I think they're specific. They actually are actually measurable and based on the funding are attainable.
Just as a note, on pages 27, 28 of the application under the target population, they actually lay out the last 3 years worth of disaster cycles, and they have a specific number of families that they serve depending on which disaster. So I think the difference in the numbers is directly related to what kind of year we had.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the 400 and their outcome measures for their anticipated outcome measures is based on hopefully getting their full 70,000 to serve people versus what they have gotten in the past.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I saw they only had 1 year to where they exceeded above the 400. The other years were averaging close to the 300, threshold.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely something to take into consideration when we start doing our budget deliberations. Let's start by that. Shane. Shane, if you're done,
I am.
Gabrielle, did you have any questions?
Yeah, let's see here. The budget, they had an application last year of 25,510. This year's request is 70,000. And it appears to be all for direct assistance for crises, including gas cards and other things. They did provide a lot of information, including about the demographics they serve, which are mainly people living in poverty or below the poverty line. And they did provide a good amount of information about the request. Let's see here. It's just mainly it's direct. It's actually direct financial assistance for direct disaster support. The calculation, though, includes not just the direct support, but volunteers, training, and staff requirements to administer the program. But it does seem reasonable, the cost seems reasonable given what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, everyone's had a chance to kind of review it.
Yeah.
Any questions or any, are we okay? Okay, Pat, we are ready to move to the next one. If you're ready.
Okay. So, yeah, saving a document out of abundance of caution. I save it quite a bit, because particularly when you're in this format, you just don't know. Which happened earlier today, it knocked me out, but it didn't matter because I had already saved it. But we all might cry if we had to redo one. That would not be a fun. I would not be in your good list for the day.
Yeah, we might have to say, you know what, call it.
We're not going to do that. You know, when early on, one of the craziest experience, and I have almost a photographic memory if I write something down, thank God, because we had did the whole thing and something happened at United Way computer and deleted it. We lost the entire team. But it took me forever because I had to go back and read every application so I could trigger my memory. That was an experience I'll never forget. Okay, good news outreach. And hopefully one program now.
It is.
No, of course not. 2 programs.
Do it back in Mercy House.
Okay.
Yeah.
Multiple programs.
Okay, so agency overall capacity. Who was in charge of last year's award letter? Is that you, Nicole, or that someone else? Or is that Melanie?
Yeah, I don't think she actually said that. I can do it. I can do it.
I have it pulled up right now. We said that it is commendable that the agency serves isolated and underserved populations. I think is true.
You just cut out. I didn't hear probably 10 seconds. Did anyone hear that glitch?
No, I didn't hear.
Okay.
Okay. So our first comment was that it was commendable that the agency serves isolated and underserved populations. Just true. Their representation. I feel like they were prepared to. I think they did a good job answering the questions they were asked, as far as presentation goes.
Yeah.
We said that they were vital. And then the recommendation, there was a third-year recommendation that they continue progress in building the capacity of the board in reference to size, race, and skills. Do we think that they made any progress on that?
They did. They put a lot of. I took a lot of notes on this. They in section 2 of the application, they acknowledged it and talked about their efforts. But I did ask them for an update, and I noted that that they did a good job on updating, but that agreed that it's still a work in progress.
They actually have 12 people on this board now.
Right.
A board of 12, and they actually have 3 of 12 are African Americans, so they have made progress.
They really have.
Plus, they've added people with some financial experience to the board, so I think they've done a good job with that.
Okay, with all of that. Shan, you good?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
And then our other agency comment was that they needed to continue fundraising and grant writing efforts to increase resources for sustainability.
And I think that's still relevant.
Well, what was that again? Let's see if I'm out. What did you say again, Nicole? The number?
That they needed to work on their fundraising and a grant application for sustainability.
Okay.
And we'd also said you could use number 1 and number 3 again as well.
So you said number 1.
Yes, and number 3.
Number 1 deals with what? I always want to have identifiers to go back to.
Survey isolated and underserved populations.
Okay. That's all. Did I get everything?
And then number 3, that they address a vital need in the community.
Okay. Thank you.
That's all of the agency overall. Let's do COVID.
For COVID, they said that they actually expanded their food pantry in response that they usually only had open 1 day a week, so they expanded it to 5, which I think is a great ability to step up. That they've also received lots of new and younger volunteers as a result of the COVID, which is interesting, and I think that's a great opportunity for them to bring in some more volunteers to the organization. That was the biggest impact on service directors. And then they also noted that they had applied for and paid $35,000 in the PPP funding.
Okay. So did I capture everything, Melanie, regarding COVID?
Yeah, the additional study was specifically the PPP
Okay.
for payroll.
Okay, payroll protection.
Right, exactly. That was it.
Thank you. Okay. Oh, I put it in the wrong spot. What do we do without computers, guys? I couldn't live without it. I don't know about you, but I would not want to have the experience of living without it.
We got shorthand skills there, Pat.
I actually can write shorthand, but I would never want to do that for real. Mm-hmm. Funny enough. Okay. So how about I'm ready now for program design. So that's Miss Shan and Nicole and whoever has.
I think that's Nicole with the program design.
Yeah, program design is for me. Goals and objectives look good.
Are you doing the food program or the Mercy House?
Oh yeah, the best food program.
It's nice to get that, Pat.
Thank you. So we're talking about the food program. Thank you for remembering that there are 2 food programs in Mercy House.
I like that they're collaborating with ECHO on this particular food program and kind of removing some duplication in city services in a nice way.
They share a building.
Yeah, they shared building. Then they were moving some of theirs into, like, clients who were coming to them for food could also be, like, transferred over to the person at the next desk for some of Echo's case management. So, lower overhead wherever we can get lower overhead.
Okay.
That's all from me.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Ms. Shan, you ready for us?
As far as for outcome measures, if they stay on target, I think their outcome measures are doable. As they reported, they exceeded for 2019 of 5,000 bags of food, and they actually met that goal in their outcome measures they have for the short term that they want to do 4,600. So if they keep on task, which it sounds like they will because they're going to increase their volunteers and other services, that they'll probably exceed this for the 2021 cycle. The other short-term outcome, they will probably meet this as well because they met it in 2019. They do not really talk about, I'm not sure if it's going to be impacted by the loss of the first couple of months within this year. But it seems as if they wanted to continue with having that as an outcome for their 2021 cycle, with the short-term goal of providing food for 125 households. I think the only question that came up for me with their outcome is whether or not they talk about using the Second Harvest survey. So are they getting, is this a duplication of services? Meaning, are they using Second Harvest to provide this food as well as their documentation as well?
I don't understand. I don't think it's a duplication of maybe I'm misunderstanding you.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
So they say that we will administer, so like on their intermediate goal, clients enrolled in the food program will experience an increased food security. They kind of talk about we will distribute the Second Harvest Food Security Survey to our food program clients. I guess my thought is that this program kind of serves the same clientele that Second Harvest may serve. And so it's not a kind of like an original program that meets the need of a gap need. At least that's how I'm seeing it. I may be wrong in that thought, but.
So Shan, you're looking at the goals and objectives in the program description. Where are you?
Yes.
In the application.
I am at section, so in program information,
Okay.
and section 1.7, program outcome measurement framework.
Oh, you're in the proposed one. Okay, I got you. You're in proposed. Let's see. Okay.
I guess maybe am I looking at it wrong that they're not serving they're doing the same thing that Second Harvest is providing.
Aren't they just a partner agency? Because that's part of what Second Harvest does. It utilizes partner agencies to distribute food. In fact, that's probably the main distribution method that they use.
I'm reading that as if they're using Second Harvest survey. They're using that tool to follow up with their clients. So I don't see it as just like
I'm still the same thing. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I just needed some clarification and for my own understanding of that.
Well, to Shan's point, the duplication of services is not necessarily on good news here. It's actually, that goes back to that record keeping that we're asking of Second Harvest. That are we sure that we're not duplicating? And in some instances, we probably are. But this is one of those things with the record keeping. They can say, well, with this partner, we've met this. So the duplication is really not on them, but more so on Second Harvest, because those numbers are counted right.
And it's and you've got people that hop from food bank to food bank in order to get enough food for the month. So
right.
It's just indicative of survival. I mean, they might even with a partner agency, yes, maybe a partner agency can give them the demographics for that particular food site, but that same person's going to go to another food site. Okay, and if you look at some of the more demand they have for food, the more rations they have. So I saw them. You know that little bag you get from Publix, one of those plastic bags? That's what they get in some food banks. That's it for that month supply or bi-monthly supply. They really have to be able to go and shop around the other food banks to survive. That's the reality of people who are food insecure. But anyway, I want you to go to the outcome data collection table because there's a problem that you're gonna have to cite. If everybody turns to the outcome data collection table, I want you to look at the language.
Is it under program pack?
Okay, it's under, let me give you the section. That would be real helpful. Program information, section 1.6 in the application. And you actually go into the outcome data collection table where they report on the outcome achievements for the previous completed fiscal year. Show and reading view. I did that. What would I do?
So is the problem that these numbers are for the projected year and not the current year or not the previous year?
No, the issue is go to short term. And the language is the terminology used. We're looking at program outcome findings as a agency reporting on their accomplishment. It's saying, for example, I'll go to the short term. That's a shorter one. It says that we will deliver. It did not say that they delivered food to 125 households. It's saying we will. It's
duplicative. We should have asked. We should have noticed this, and we should have asked it in the.
It could have been a mistake, but
I have a feeling it was a mistake, and we should. It's our fault. We should have something in the session.
Hey, can I just say, like when they give the narrative for this, in the same section 1.6, number 1, it says we expect to deliver 125 bags per month to needy families, totaling 1,500 bags. And then they go on to say we accomplished this in 2019 by route delivery and having the food pantry of our residents at Maryland Oaks. So is that not enough?
Where are you at?
Number 1.
Short term?
Number 1 on 1.6.
Number 1.
Second paragraph.
Oh, you mean in the paragraph section?
Yeah, they probably just, when they copied the information into the table, didn't, copy the wrong section is probably what happened. So I would just encourage them to, we should have mentioned it in the session, but I would encourage them to check their application for accuracy and note this section in particular. But it does look like it's addressed in the narrative. It's just not on the table accurately.
Yeah. I'll just put something that it is noted in the narrative.
Well, I think back to what you were saying, Pat, though. All of these are supposed to be things that have been accomplished. And all of this speaks to the present. I mean, to the future. Is that what you were saying, Pat?
Yeah, we have to, so it's incorrect the way it was filled out.
Yes.
Just note that so they can remind themselves to proofread the work.
Right.
Yeah, because it does look like they had it in the narrative. They just, when they copied the information into the table or input the information, they missed it.
Okay. All right. This was crazy time for everybody on top of that.
Mhm.
Everybody's family and workplaces got totally up in it.
Yeah.
Goodness knows. So I think that, let's see, so we done with that. They clearly documented the documentation of need. Who's responsible for looking at documentation of need?
Before we go to budget, because that was for the food program, you want to go ahead and do the thing for Mercy House?
Well, that's the question I'm asking about, documentation of need for the food. Do they give you local data? That's the other area. See this area here? That's another thing. We have to do that section too. Target population. And then we did outcomes. On the program description here, that's probably better easier.
I think they did a pretty good job of documentation need. They looked out some local statistics on that. Find income level.
Okay, thank you. Now we're ready. We got to deal with the funding request for this program. Since we're in this section of the application, how about we just go ahead and do the funding request for this?
Just for food program?
Just for food, because we're in that section of the application, so we don't have to go back and forth.
Okay, so they requested, they were allocated $16,720 last year. The request this year is slightly less at $16,486. And I'm baffled by this because there are 5 sites they're providing 5 services. So
I'm surprised.
I would have. When were these due? When did they submit these?
Anita has the exact date in her brain. I think in let's see. First originally due in February, sometime in March, toward the end of March.
Okay. If it was the end of March, they were already doing 5 times as much, and so.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't increase it.
If it was mid-March, maybe they didn't know yet. Beginning of March, definitely nobody had a clue. But my thought is, I know they, from their previous, also collaboration, they're doing so much, and this seems like a small amount. They did a really good job of saying what it was for. I could go line by line if you want me to, but they did do really good work.
It's pretty clearly justice. Sometimes
this is a meager amount given how much they're providing. So.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. I would have requested a lot more.
No.
I am curious, what exactly was the deadline? If it was before March 15th, then
no. We extended the deadline when COVID happened. In fact, I was working at home then. We had already been basically moved out of our offices with the city, and we're working at home. The deadline was after I was home for a little while. So,
yeah, I'm just shocked that they didn't.
If I can fully fund this way.
Yeah, we have some agencies that do that. Even yesterday, number one program, graded program, asked for level funding, and they easily could have gotten more money. But some of them are very conscientious of each other. They're like, well, if we could operate with this, and they're like, if we could operate with this amount of money, we don't want to take money from the other programs. Some of them are just very polite.
I think this is way too polite given what they're doing.
I know, it's interesting, the politeness.
Yeah.
In fact, it was one time, I remember, there's been some years when the CRT said, why aren't you asking for more money for this program?
I mean, if it's okay to ask that, I probably would ask that for the food program. That just doesn't make sense to me with all the added services that they're providing, all the direct support that they're providing, that they didn't ask for more.
Well, I tell you, because Pat, I think I was there one of those times where the team or one of the team was like, why aren't you asking for more money? You do such a good job. And one of the answers was that we have noticed that we have some savings, some cost savings in certain places. And utilizing those cost savings has helped us continue to provide the level of service that we're asking for, and we don't feel like we need to ask for more money. So sometimes that happens. In this one, it's such a small amount.
Well,
maybe they've
and here's what it almost duplicate what you said. They said in spite of the fact that we have experienced a threefold increase in the amount of food being distributed, Good News plans to accommodate this increase through strategic use of volunteers. That's what they're saying. Almost exactly what Jackie just said.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Wow. Okay.
Only reason I thought about putting that there, but then it could set up the ED.
I want to
with their board.
I want to say something there that I think could come up later as we talk about funding justification. They came up in Mercy House, even though they went down a little bit of food program. And so since they're an agency that has a lot of different programs, they could be trying to balance, thinking that they'll probably get about the same amount of money. And so they want to, but sometimes maybe their food program is an area where they can fund other sources. But they're hoping that we fund them at a higher level at Mercy House.
Right.
And a little bit less food program.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Speaking of that, let's go straight to Mercy House.
Are we starting at the top?
Nicole? No, I mean, we did overall. We're just doing the program design and outcomes.
In just a second to switch over to Mercy House. For their objectives, they're not. A lot of them aren't measurable. They have, like, they read more like goals.
You want to give us some examples?
So like objective 6, coach and encourage each client to pay it forward by helping them and coming behind them to achieve the same results. Build a culture of service. How are they quantifying that and proving success there? And like objective 7, they say to successfully transition each client to their independent living plan. Like, you know, we want to successfully transition 90% of clients to this, or something giving an amount, a number of clients. So we can say, yes, you met your goal. I think they did a really great job explaining like all the different steps as far as the program goes. I mean, they break it down by like first week, weeks 2 to 4, weeks 3 forward. Like they do a really great job making it clear exactly how the program runs. And they've got a lot of really great collaborative partners. That's all I'm seeing for description.
Okay. You ready?
Are you ready?
Yeah. So for outcome data collection, I really think they did a great job at breaking down the different types of programs that's within inside of Mercy House, like the addiction recovery, career readiness and employment, and independent living, and explaining each one of those goals within those three separate programs. It's clearly stated that they've accomplished their goals, and that they utilize a method of measure based on the data collection table. Let's switch over.
We do still have that problem that
Future tense.
yeah, the future tense. That's what I was gonna say. Like, men will be clean and sober.
Is there another place in the application where they give those numbers?
Are y'all looking at 1.7 or 1.6?
1.6.
1.6. Yep.
Okay.
No, it doesn't look like it. Not this time.
I know they talked about it in our Q&A,
Yeah.
the success. It just seems like they need to proof the application more, and in some cases they probably just need to change future tense into past tense and verify those numbers.
Yeah, I think they need to focus more in that data collection table. How can I say this? An outcome data collection table under program outcome findings. You must enter accomplishments and not what you will accomplish. It should be actual accomplishments or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. You got that. Yeah. Outcome findings, future. You're right. She'll dismiss that. Is there anything else?
No. I can figure out how to write that later because I know exactly what is going on. The other thing, Bethel's program has closed down. So I know Bethel was used in there a lot. So it would be interesting to know what program that they'll involve them in now that the Bethel program has closed. But Project Refire has, because we funded that program. That's why I know it's shut down now. But it would have, it just shut down right before
Project Refire did?
Yes.
They have it in their intermediate.
Yeah, I know. I was just in that program doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, okay.
They just shut down during the COVID crisis.
Okay.
I was just about to ask when, but
we have known that. Probably not necessarily. There's no way of knowing if they knew that. I doubt if they would put it in there if they would known that. It wouldn't be to their benefit to do that. So I'm just maybe we'll say explore a different resource, a different collaborative partner. No, that's closed.
That's closed.
Program has been terminated.
Wait, was it due to state?
Funding and a lot of funding issues. The state used to fund that program pretty, redirection of state funding is part of it. Those things happen. Change of priorities for Florida with the new governor.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. Thank you. Does that, I think that gets this.
The only thing I didn't see that I think that we probably should mention, it doesn't tell how many men secured permanent housing. If you look at the last long-term, it talks about 50% of men will have a savings account balance sufficient to cover moving expenses for more independent setting, but it doesn't finish. It's not finished. Like, so how many men actually did move to independent living? So, what do you think about adding? Suggesting that they add that particular outcome?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because I had that listed because I thought, okay, well, yes, the savings account is cool, but you know what happens to them that have a savings account? You know, how many of them stay in long-term housing or in permanent housing? So, yeah, to your question.
Again, I wish we would have asked for Q&A.
Yeah. Every group, let me see if I'm even on. Every group had the same feeling.
Yeah.
Because
I think when you know, there's a presentation beforehand, it just kind of feels like we get into the groove a little bit more of the Q&A instead of just jumping in. I feel like we miss things.
You absolutely do. And plus it's like you read so much of this, stuff starts mixing together, so when they do their presentation, they're distinguishing the most important aspects of their program. And so it's kind of like the memory and the whole. So hopefully, one thing the other group said that as soon as this is over, they recommend we go back to the normal way of doing business procedures. See, I know Melanie definitely.
Absolutely. I was going to say, you know, let's just be a convenient format. We're selling the HP short doing it this way.
There's no, and ultimately the community. I mean, I totally agree with that. So, and I told someone that, I said, and someone told me, they said, how are things going? I said, everyone pretty decently. Well, maybe you guys can, I said, let me be real clear. Every single volunteer group so far has said they absolutely do not want this to be the norm, ever. So, no. Yeah. Okay, so we'll obtain stable, add a self-sufficiency, a long-term goal that speaks to self-sufficiency, such as obtain stable housing, etc.
Right, because I think it goes towards their mission of what this program does.
To the goal of the program, ties back into the goals and objectives of the program.
Exactly.
So let's look at funding requests. I think, is there anything else we missed today? Oh, we did not do the needs assessment. Did we?
Yeah, I thought we said that.
No, we did. We said needs for they provide local data for food, but how about for this program? Can we go back into needs analysis data and just see if they got
data, they got some national data. Yeah, they did.
Did
agree on county. Yeah, they did a good job.
I do think they do a good job, and I also think that they, you know, there might be a couple of these in doing this, but they're all very small, and it's an important step that we don't have a ton of agencies doing this. Mercy Housing exists.
I agree. That's really, really important. I've worked in the prison system for 3 years, and
really,
yeah, And I really feel like we need more of these kinds of programs to help, transition people from prison to,
Absolutely.
so that they don't reoffend, so that they don't fall back into the system.
Which is one of the first cuts the state did too, was cutting these transitional types of programs. They don't get much funding.
I know, it's terrible.
They drop them in the local community and say it's your problem.
Which is awful.
So let's look at the funding request.
Okay.
To Mercy House.
The allocation last year was $27,250. The request this year is $44,336. They did a good job describing why, mainly that they have a live-in program manager, 3/4 time live-in program manager, and a part-time program assistant, both with experience in the prison system who will live this life and they're qualified to serve national entry, about the fact that they have a waiting list, and that help them do the abuse recovery program in addition. So, the details.
And so, in the presentation, when I asked, what's your priority if you can get full funding? I heard it very
noise that I can't understand. I'm sorry.
My background?
Whatever it is, it's gone now. Yeah. Thank you.
When I asked the question of, if you don't get full funding, what happens? They very clearly said that it was the $29,000 for the program manager that would be top priority. So it's a question on the application that they answered clearly on the application and answered clearly in the presentation.
Yes, I agree.
Real answer.
Yeah.
I agree as well. And I thought, now, there was something that someone had gone from part-time to full-time during this time.
I think that was
COVID.
That's the request. That's part of the request. They want to change they want to transition the program manager from part-time to full-time.
Okay. But I thought it was my understanding that that had already happened because of COVID.
I do think they said that they had to do it because of COVID, and they want to keep that model going forward.
That sounds familiar. Yeah.
I think that was it because I had manager at the time, and that said COVID. I try to sometimes how you're jotting these things down, and then you come back and you look at it what the heck? So thank y'all for indulging.
You guys ready for me to summarize?
Yes.
Okay. Agency has made significant progress in diversifying the board's membership, increased fundraising and grant writing efforts. I think that's a recommendation, right? And then
yes.
They serve an isolated, underserved population. Bringing that comment from last year's award letter, they address vital needs in the community. The agency provides a significant amount of services with limited funding. Based on what you guys were saying, I added that one. Program food, well-defined goals and objectives, collaborating and co-locating with ECHO is a good development. It helps the agency reduce duplication of services and better meet the needs of the client. Meaningful outcomes included in the measurement framework. However, the outcome findings, were in the present tense. And they did provide local data that colleagues substantiated the need for the program. Mercy House thoroughly explained the steps of the program, suggest further development of program objectives, excellent utilization of collaborative partners to address the needs of the client, extensive outcomes included. Again, same issue with the outcome findings. explore a different collaborative partner now that the FESOS program has been terminated, add a long-term outcome that speaks to self-sufficiency, such as attaining long-term housing, provided comprehensive data, documented need for the program. In response to the COVID virus, in response to increased demand, they expanded food distribution from 3 to 5 days. They also added more youthful volunteers, applied and obtained additional funding to address the needs of the organization, such as the payroll protection. I'll say youthful. How y'all like that? Youthful. We're youthful. We're youth. And justification for funding food. We say clearly documented and also recognize they want to clearly explain and justify the need for funding priority as a program manager. That's it. A wrap. Anything else you want me to do?
Sounds good.
Okay, we move to the next one then. Unhoused humanity. Here we come. Let me get it ready. Take me about 1 minute or a couple seconds.
I'm going to talk about this while you're doing that, Pat. Was it new or I just thought or when two years ago they really had like yes. I was not expecting them to be at this point when we had the Q&A with them. I was expecting them to be a lot further on.
This one is a struggle for me because I think they're a great program. I think they fill a gap in a really inventive way that our community needs. But their stability is concerning.
Yeah. I find it deeply restored. That's why my question to them was, what is this whole what was the rebuild?
Yeah, rebuilding.
Like, whoa, wait a minute, what are we just started. How are we rebuilding already? Like, no, you got a brand new house. How you rebuilding it?
Well, wasn't this the one that was a change in leadership, I think, kind of threw them for a loop, but there was a lot of concerns.
And the board chair, his presentation, because I came into this having read their application going, you have got to be kidding me, because I thought the application was actually kind of horrible.
Yeah.
And once I actually sat there and listened to him talk, he gave a very compelling, very detailed presentation, and I really felt for him. It's like, I want to help you, but dude, I don't know.
Yeah, I felt the same way.
Well, to give y'all some foundation, 2 years ago, brand new program. And I will tell you, we spent a lot of time with this brand new program because of members not wanting to fund the program. And I remember my really saying, hey, this is a great program. This is something, there is a need for this in the community. And that's why I was really shocked reading the application, because they had crowdfunding. They were coming in. We were kind of ancillary funding. We were not their major funding. And then to come in and see they've lost the crowdfunding, they've lost a lot of the stuff, because the model was to actually have the people up online. They share stories with you about their journey in terms of trying to keep a home or trying to find a home. And based on that, then people would donate to them. So to kind of be at this point, and it's only 2 years in, I'm upset about that.
It doesn't feel like they have any of that going on anymore.
Exactly.
So it sounds like when the director left, they just kind of stopped. They now have somebody who's doing it, and they want to do it again. But I asked the question when they said that they had only done 6,000, and of their 23,
I wrote that down. They've only spent $6,480 of their budget so far this year.
And they said COVID was the problem.
Right.
COVID happened March, or we'll say 15th.
Right.
the fiscal year starts in October, so they were almost halfway through the year before COVID hit. So that's not really a great excuse.
I agree.
Right.
And then I also mentioned, was it really only $48 raised the entire year? And I felt the same way. I did feel sorry for the guy. I thought he had, some compelling information, but he said they had received $845 in private donations and they plan to ramp it up, and CHST is really important to them, and they have a goal of 8,000 for the next fiscal year. So they're doing a lot of rebuilding, but it's brutal. It's like the contractors and the foundation are not in place, and they're trying to build, and it's a shame.
And I think it's beyond CHC being important to them. From what I gathered, both from the application and from what you said, it pretty much sounds that if they don't get funding from us, they won't exist anymore.
They said they aren't sure they can continue to operate if they don't get CHST funds.
Yes.
And then I noted it's concerning that they need to rebuild given last year's change in leadership. They acknowledge the issues of being overambitious and say they're more focused now. So
yeah. So they say that if we're unable to compensate their executive director, they will fold. The director's part of the position is only, is $6,000.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is saying if they don't get the $6,000, they fold. But I don't know. This one is hurting my heart.
yeah.
Yeah.
Was Jackie Portman a part of this program last year?
No, I don't believe so. I don't remember her from the presentation.
Nicole, were you on the team with us?
Yeah.
I also noted that their board is all white and female except for him, and he admitted that it's too small.
Yes. Well, Nicole was there. This was a fight. Did I say that, Nicole? Is that a nice
It
word?
was, and I feel like I was also on the side of this is a big need. This is a gap. This is innovative. We need to do something with this.
Yes. I mean,
it's killing me.
I think Nicole, this hurts so bad because it's almost like now I got to go find that person who said, that's why I don't like funding new programs. No, you're taking money out of someone else's. Because the thing was, we were taking this money from some other program that could do more with it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, you can't necessarily think of
that was a huge fight 2 years ago. That team.
Hey, but nobody got in the fight. We all left kind of sort of smiling. We were okay. But Pat, your thing about it's concerning. I think that speaks to everything that we're saying. It's just really heart wrenching because it serves. We know it serves such a need. They really don't. The case management, it helps them kind of get there. You're almost homeless, so you're trying to make sure, okay, now I've been here, I've gotten myself together, and I just need this money to put down for the security deposit. And they're there for that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway, don't want to be the dead horse. Let's get into the nitty-gritty.
I think we're all on the same page.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Let's go.
Can I add one quick thing too?
Sure.
I saw that they are not required to have an external audit. Is it because they're 50,000 or less? Okay.
A private company can ask anybody to get an audit if they want to apply to their program, but the government has to use the federal guidelines, and now the federal mandate is 750,000 or more. You have to have an audit. Anything under that is optional.
Okay.
Which I think is a lot of money. 750,000, no audit.
Mm-hmm.
A smart agency would never allow itself not to have an audit that had a balance of that type of money.
Let me ask you this question. Is Sister Harvest give us a 990?
If you go into the legal documents in your application, there should be a 990.
Yep. Okay, so the they didn't have to do an audit?
Yeah, they should have an audit, because they get federal money.
I didn't see an audit in there.
Yeah, let's look at,
I'm so sorry, y'all.
you want to finish this and then go back and look?
Yes. Yeah. Somebody put a pin in that one if I don't remember.
Okay, a pen. Let's put a pen. Because I think,
I can't. I have to look now.
go ahead. Yeah, you can look now.
I thought I
Go ahead.
was 990.
Yeah, look at you know, where the legal documents, it has that icon now, because it's embedded, the documents are embedded in the application. Check the 990 in the audit. While Shan is doing that, we'll keep on working, okay? On house humanity. So, in the,
Melanie said that COVID now.
Miss Mellon, well, see, okay.
I mean, about that. They say that, you know, their service is down because of COVID now, as we discussed. They should have used more money than they already had already. But I do believe that since COVID hit, no one's been coming to them for aid because they can't prove they have a stable income. And that they are suspecting that once people go back to work, they will be hit with more requests. And that was pretty much the sum of the COVID.
Because of the moratorium also on evictions.
Right.
True.
But as soon as that stops, you know, the need increases tremendously.
Mm-hmm.
Are we ready to go to program stuff? Is there anything? I think that's good October.
Yep, that's it.
Nicole, you want to hit program design and?
Yeah, I mean, so they have goals and objectives. They pretty much just say like 80% at 6 months, 70% 9 months. They're there. They're not great and super telling that they're there. As far as the program description, if I hadn't sat through their thing last year to know how it works, I would have had no clue what they do.
I had exactly that thought when I read it. I came away reading that application going, I have no idea what they actually do.
That is not good.
No. Do we want to, say something about that? I think that's important to address, too.
If she says program description, that specific details.
Yeah, that's kind of.
Do you want it to say something more like, it was unclear to the CR team based on the application what the program actually accomplished?
Yeah.
I'm patting myself on the back. That's what happens after you eat. Your brain says, yes, we can think about things here.
I didn't have a chance to eat lunch during lunch because I was in another meeting. So at our next 10-minute break, I'm going to wolf something down.
Definitely get that brain food.
Right.
As far as the positive for the program design and things, they are collected with collaborations with all the major homeless shelters in town and working with that. So they do have important partnerships in place.
Definitely with PSC. Do they have big bands as well?
Yeah, it's
They do.
community, but it's there.
If anything else, we did. Good job, Nicole, for getting those kudos in there. Are we ready for outcomes now?
Yeah. What is reported is a housing lost 52 clients last year, which I feel like that's great on their budget. I guess I know typically they provide about $1,500 per client. So when you do the math times 52,
So that's slightly so they're reporting on individuals, not households, but they provide funding for the household. So like they pay security deposit, first month's rent for one apartment. So it might be people who are living there. And I asked that question and I cannot find where I wrote it down, so maybe one of you did. They did answer how many households that represented. I asked it.
I remember that question.
I can't find where I wrote it.
I normally take really good notes. I don't see it there, but I'll need to see if I put it somewhere in the application. Sometimes I embed comments in the application, but
yeah, I don't see how many households that they actually provided for in the narrative.
Yeah, they didn't put it in the narrative. It's something that I'd kind of flagged them on.
they said they served 52 clients in 2019.
Yeah, but I think what Nicole is saying is that can be, half because it can be 5 persons in a household, but it's still considered 5 clients out of that 52.
Yeah, I hear you, for sure.
So I did add language, if you want to look at what I included on the board, I did add language to speak to that.
Yes. The diversity.
Concern. So I got,
yeah, you're right. That
either include client numbers and then also include an outcome indicator that reports on the number of households served.
Perfect.
right. Because you got 6 of those people of the 52 were under 5 years of age.
Yeah.
You have to go to the by age.
The client demographic.
Yes.
Yeah. So only,
I can't find where. In my head, I think it was somewhere in the low 30s as far as
I
households.
remember them answering it, and I'm frustrated that I didn't write it down.
No.
I'm trying to remember my.
It's 28. 22.
Where'd you find that?
I see 28 people that are adults. Well,
but my recollection is, I'm probably speaking. Yeah, my recollection is 22 households were served. That's what was stated in the presentation.
Okay, awesome.
Oh, okay.
Writing things down.
I wonder if they put it in the narrative section of the program evaluation. They didn't put the number of households. Oh, okay. Okay. So we've addressed it. So we're telling them to report on that because it has to be an application, something that better. Okay. That's the whole program design is to house families, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think too, like with their intermediate goal, like they have 100% of their clients are still housed from 2019, but in their narrative they did say that I want to say 3 were evicted. If I'm remembering correctly, no, 2. Two were evicted in 2019. So I see that as a contradiction.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Who asked about Jackie Fortman?
I did.
It says Jackie Portman, our executive director, has access to this database, HMIS database.
Mhm.
Do you want to look at, Shan, how about you take us to the measurement framework as well, okay? See if that is any different than what we saw in the outcome. I did add this statement too about when reporting on outcome indicators, please include client numbers applicable to the percentages provided. Because even if you say all 80% are still in their home, 80% of what?
Right.
The client has not returned.
For their outcome framework, again, since they have a set amount of how much they give per household, like I think it would be great if they can add some measurement in here, like we will serve, 20 households per year. That gives them some type of measurable goal. Because here, if I'm just looking at this as it is, like if they serve one client, they have met each of those goals.
They do have numbers in but I agree they need to be there.
Okay, so I added that. Outcomes included, outcomes included in the measurement framework are not measurable. Do not include client numbers.
Mhm.
Okay. Maybe that's a technical assistance. Because it's a simple program. It's easy to write the outcomes. This is probably the easiest program to do outcomes in.
Mm-hmm.
Can we ask them to consult with you, like you often do?
Yeah.
They need help.
Yes. If they're rebuilding. That get us where we need to be.
And then, wait, one more thing for outcome too. So the last thing was, I'm sorry, with long-term goals, the client has been housed for 2 years. I guess with that, and I may be overthinking it, but they only conduct follow-up 3, 6, and 12 months.
Oh, okay. It's incongruent. Okay.
Because I had a question in my notes, like how do you track the 85% that stay in their home for 2 years? That's it for me, Jackie.
That's a good catch. I didn't even notice that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so budget next.
Yeah.
The previous allocation was $23,000. The request is $24,000. 6,000 of it for compensation benefits. They say that they determine a part-time executive director is essential and critical to their success and serve 52 clients in 2019. Their projection is to serve 90 clients in 2021 and 22. Majority of the budget request is for direct assistance, $18,000. It says we project client assistance to cost $28,055 under the budget assumption of serving 90 clients in 2020. We're asking for support to allow us to maintain a minimum client service services of 50, allowing us to use service raise private funds to meet our client assistance goals. So that totals 24.
I just I'll sum it up for you, okay? What you just wrote about them, sum it up. Oh, did I sum it up already? No. We said, you guys said that the stability of the agency is concerning. Continue efforts to build all aspects of the organization, including building a diverse board in reference to race, gender, and skill sets. This program has the potential to address an important community need. Overall, the quality of application needs improvement. Is it significant improvement or improvement? Which one do you want me to?
Significant.
Okay. So far this year, the agency.
I was just making sure we all agree on the significant.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So far this year, and this is another concern. So far this year, the agency has only expended approximately 6,000 of the 23,000 CHSP allocation. Need to significantly increase fundraising and grant writing efforts when completing the application. Seek assistance. Program description, like specific details. After reading the program description, you actually wanted me to put a little bit more. It was confusing. You want to note that even after reading it, you could not understand what the program does. Right. Excellent collaborative partnerships used to identify and serve clients. Good program goals and objectives. When providing outcome indicators, use client numbers applicable to the percentages. Include an outcome indicator report on the number of households served. The outcomes included in the measurement framework are not measurable and do not include client numbers. Long-term outcomes notes a 2-year period. However, they only track the families up to 12 months.
Sounds good.
And agency notes that demand for their services has increased during the shutdown. However, they anticipate an increase in demand. Agency explained the need for CHSP funding. I didn't put justify because you only saying that when it's a strong, when you really feel like that agency has strongly demonstrated the need for funding. And then no questions. And now, last but not least, we'll set up, I don't know why I'm having a hot flash, and I stopped having hot flashes a couple of years ago.
Second paragraph, they come over to the notes on communications, your 999, and then it's there.
It is? Okay, hold on.
It's under the notes on communications.
Oh, it's under the note. Oh, okay.
I'm getting underwater again.
And then also, I don't know why one has communities, so we can but they should be
yeah, I was like, okay, so I'll go back to
I can't understand anything.
Me either.
I'm like, gosh, underwater, garbled.
If everybody mute, then Anita we might can hear Anita a little better. So let's all mute and allow Anita to restate what she said.
That's not going to clear it up.
I don't think so either, but let's try it.
No, I find something that's going to go back to the law. Sorry, y'all, just bear with us. CHSP, we're multitasking as we're doing this and trying to get reimbursements and quarterly reports and everything done, so we're probably bogging down our own internet. So she'll sign back in. Sound above
Grace, after this, can we take a 10-minute break? Please.
After Nina speaks?
Yeah, after.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
One thing she said that they loaded, I think everybody heard that we could actually go to their agency notes and get their $9.90 and audit.
Yes, I did hear that.
Okay. You know how to get accessible to that, Jackie?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
Okay. Okay, that's all she said. I think that's the main thing she said.
Okay. Much appreciated. We can go on to, let's see, it is 2:39, so let's say 2:40 and come back around 2:55, giving you an extra 5 minutes so you can have proper digestion.
I can eat while listening if you want to cut it shorter.
10 minutes then, guys?
Yeah,
Yep.
that's fine.
Well, not guys, it's 10 minutes team. Sorry.
I'm good with guys.
Susan, see you soon.
I'll see you at 2:50. It's Sala. Is Sala on the line? No. Let's see.
We're halfway through the year, so yeah.
Okay. They were being absolutely brutally honest when they said they only had 6,000 at that time.
Yeah. I still have concerns that they don't have a backup plan if they don't get the money.
Yes. No, yes, we still understand, but it's just the fact that they hadn't even spent the money that they had already.
Yeah.
Do you guys want me to? Oh, I'm sorry. You want me to remove this comment? Do you want me to remove this comment from unhoused humanity now? Based on the update that Anita provided? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anita. Okay.
All right.
Okay, let's go to Salvation Army. Last one, my guy. Salvation Army.
I'm quietly clapping over here.
Melanie, Melanie, can you start off with last year's letter? So if you could go.
Looking at what's here, trying to see what you could carry over. Certainly you carry over comment number 2, the agency is an asset to the community.
Yes.
The last time they did make a comment about the fact that the local advisory board is diverse, but that all members of the policy board are white. I don't really think we can call them out on that one anymore, just because I don't think the local branch has any control over their regional policy board.
I agree.
I don't think it's fair for us to hold them to that. Let's see.
Where are you?
And number 8 from last year's letter, that the agency utilizes excellent collaborative partnerships. I think they still do that.
Yes.
And they had a finding last time, but the finding was that the agency didn't conduct a budget presentation according to CHSC guidelines, and they didn't have a chance to correct that this year because we didn't let them do budget presentations.
Well, do we speak to that?
We didn't necessarily speak to that, but I do think we had a couple of budget questions. I know I asked one, and they answered it. I remember that finding, and their budget presentation was a total disaster. And that there were several questions that were asked, and I mean, the person who was giving it basically just said, "I don't know."
Right, and we were like, "What?"
I noted this. I felt like they did a really good job answering questions.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think we should note, that the budget presentations whatever. I don't think we should bring that up again.
Well, the only thing is, and this is kind of my angst with not saying anything to it, is because just like we're reviewing the last letter, I'm not sure in 2 years we would be reviewing 4 years ago's letter, because I want to make sure that they know they need to conduct the budget presentation. So it's almost like in light of the pandemic, we do understand that it was a different process, but we do want to make sure that you note the findings, and that you should conduct a budget presentation in accordance with CHSC guidelines.
I'm going to suggest not, because we actually put that in their contract. That's part of the conditions. When you guys give them findings, we put that in the contract, and they have to remedy those issues during that period. So that should be already adequately addressed.
Okay. So then they did give you a good budget presentation. You're cool with it, with what they presented. Well, of course we funded it. Never mind. I got answered my own question.
Did anyone take a look, I guess, like at and again, I know we probably hadn't even talked about this for the other agencies, but I just happened to look at this one. But the diversity of their staff or lack of.
No, I did. We didn't ask them that question, but I did. Because remember, I asked that same question of Red Cross, looking at the people that they serve.
Yeah, just based on the demographics that they serve, it's a disproportionate. Is disproportionately different for reflective of their staff, makeup of their staff. And they've done such a great job on their board diversity, but it seems like there is a need with their staffing.
Exactly. In fact, I would like to, let me find the wording of that question that I asked to Red Cross, and I'm kind of upset that I missed asking them, because I didn't put that question into them, but I had that question of both of them in my notes, so I'm kind of mad about that. Hold on, y'all. Let me get there. It was, oops. I think I did a percentage, because this is based on their Black clients make up a certain amount. There are no or little to no Black staff members. How do you account for cultural differences in the services you provide? So I guess kind of more in line to that. That was the question I was supposed to ask them, because I did not. As far as general, I think we're good. Ready to go to COVID, Melanie?
I'm gonna have to ask somebody else on that, because for some reason I have absolutely no notes about what they said about COVID, and I don't remember a single thing they said. So does anybody else know what they said about COVID? I don't know if I was blanking out by the day or last week or what, but I have nothing. Dave?
Been some pretty big changes mean, they've opened up the shelter part of it, but that's like with the connection with the city. I feel like
I'm in the wrong spot.
What?
And I could be wrong with this, you guys. Someone back me. I feel like you said that they were doing more as far as taking the food various places instead of just having people come to them.
I do remember something about that.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that very clearly.
And then, gosh, yeah, it was getting towards the end of the day. I was like, yes, now I'm just hurry up.
I'm sorry, I didn't. I should have taken better notes on that.
But I did know that they were seeing more people. They were having more calls. And they couldn't meet the needs. They could not meet the needs. Hold on, where's my notes?
And, you know, with regard to all of us talking about our notes and such, I firmly believe, as much as I'm used to teaching online and working online, that the online environment is much more draining. And I think that, you know, brain drain from being plugged in, it's real. And, you know, Zoom burnout and all, I really think that it's
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, thank you, because I'm exhausted by the end of the day. And it's like I can't even, by the time I finish a team, I mentally have nothing left.
Yeah.
And almost physically, so I force myself to take a walk just to, yeah, it's very draining. I've never done it this before.
You know, we're neighbors. We still need to go for that walk one of these days.
Very cool.
Talking about it. I'm here.
I heard that. I'm game for walking this weekend, honey. In the neighborhood across the street. You know that new neighborhood, but we'll talk about it. Okay. I'm game now. I'll walk with you. Just tell me the date. I'll come right on and I'll meet you for a walk.
All right.
I kind of remember her saying like 2 to 3 to 1. It was a significant amount of calls that she had been fielding that they just didn't have.
They said they're preparing. They actually said that's even more stronger. I'll have to clean this one up. That's okay.
That's an important grade. We're all kind of in like disaster mode right now, so it was nice to hear an agency talk about like, okay, we're handling this increase now, and we are also already in the process of figuring out how we're going to move forward and do these things.
I think that pretty much sums up what they were saying in terms of COVID. They were preparing them. Hurricane season was coming up, and they're a valued partner in that. And then they were already partnered with trying to help people during COVID. Are we ready for program design? Should we finish with that one?
Give me just 1 second to see, because I'm seeing where they did goals and objectives, and I want to see if they answered it in another section. for. No, they don't. Okay. For the section 1.5, question 1 is the goals and objectives of the program. They do a really great job saying, this is our goal, this is the objective to meet this goal. This is the goal, this is the objective to meet the goal. But they don't, so they just say they're going to provide a full month of utilities, but they don't say the number of houses. Or they'll say thousands of individuals will be served, but they don't really, they're not truly giving a number. So the objectives need to have clear, measurable indicators. But they are good objectives if they measure them. I think they explain things well. I don't have any other issues. They have a great list of partners.
Okay, Shannon, see yet? Okay. In terms of, let me go back. I think, in terms of what they indicated for their short-term goal, which is the only goal that they have, and I'm not sure whether or not we want to mention that, or if it's a requirement for them to have intermediate and long-term goals.
It's not a requirement. They're
okay.
Emergency services providers.
Okay.
I will say, looking at what you're seeing, Shan, versus what I just said about them having their goals and objectives, if you look at section 1.5 and you read their goals and objectives, they've got a lot of things. But then they go over there, and it's just one.
Yeah. And I think emergency services can still have long-term goals, too, even when they're on a temporary, because we operate our emergency services program, and we still have long-term goals. So, yeah, I do see what you're talking about, Nicole, where they have all of the goals and objectives mentioned here within question 1. We could have filled that over into section 1.6. But anyway, I think they did, in terms of with their short-term goals, they far exceeded what they said that they would within 2019, because I think they had 4,000, and they listed here, was it 9,000 and something? Yeah, they served 9,327 clients within the 18-19 fiscal year. With their framework, I think they have the same goal. Again, I agree with Nicole that they probably could break some of their or transfer some of those objectives that they have in section 1.5 and create some measurable and realistic goals to go in their framework. And one other thing too, within my notes, I noted that they spoke about their database service point, which they actually try to capture all of the demographics, but they did say that they aren't able to track every single person that utilized all of their services. So that number could also be much larger than what they actually reported.
Mm-hmm.
So they're doing a lot more. And that's all I have.
As far as documentation of need goes, they've got some good data in there as far as the clients that they've served over the years and the increase in services that they have provided, but there is no local or state data at all in documentation of need, and they should add some.
Is that it on that section? Are we ready for budget or?
All I've got.
Anything that you notice, Pat, Justin? If not, then go ahead to budget.
So their previous allocation was $20,000. Their current request is $75,000. $33,750 of that is for compensation and benefits, and they have a pretty good narrative that goes along with it, saying basically that they need to have a social services program coordinator, a partial salary for that person, plus one position added as a part-time receptionist administrative assistant to help make appointments, assist clients, and acquire additional resources and provide referrals, document case notes, and so on. And says the positions are critical to success of the program. The other expenses, $33,750 are for direct assistance to meet client needs. It's including food, hot, nutritious mobile meals through the Feed the Need program, cost of clothing, furniture, and household items, and to assist with emergency utility assistance. The final chunk is $7,500, which is 10% of payments paid to state national services that allows for centralization of administrative services at the state and territorial level, which allows for less local administrative and management costs and provides for greater fiscal oversight of the organization. Their justification and what they, their narrative is pretty thorough. And they do mention due to the effects of COVID-19, they think that they're going to have, a great number of people who were disproportionately affected who will now need their services. And they're prepared to work to help meet those needs. That's all I have on budget.
Does that anybody else have anything else on Salvation Army? The good thing is during their presentation they did not, or during their questions, we had no questions about sex trafficking because that derailed our team last time. Nicole. Oh gosh, I thought we were going to whoa, let's go, we gotta go. We gotta go right now. That was so crazy. Anyway.
I'm trying to, I was in the notes somewhere. Where did you?
Yeah, they did say something about sex trafficking, and I think that's what happened, last time. Sorry, that's my phone. That's what happened the last time. Somebody saw it in the note, and boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Oh yes, I remember that because it riles you up when you hear the term, right?
Yes.
And having been a person that rescued a child, I was driving down Tram Road going to work one day, and I ended up, unbeknownst to in my shocking experience, ended up rescuing a young girl who had been thrown on the street, and turned out she had been sex trafficked right here in Tallahassee, Florida.
Wow.
And I called Refuge House immediately, like, what do I do? And I must admit, I drove by her, and then something said, that's because I'm scared of picking up people now. And I don't do that because I've done it before and I've gotten myself into a bad situation, but something just said turn around. This time you gotta turn around. And I turned around. Otherwise I would have called the police, but I turned around that time. And that was a shocking experience. I'll never forget it. Because the girl was the same age as my daughter.
Oh wow.
And in fact, Meg had to counsel me after I finished. After I finished that, she had to counsel me because it's something about it. It's a raw nerve in your spirit. What can you say?
It makes me want to cry, and I wasn't even there.
It just was so profound. She was one of the most beautiful girls I've ever seen in my life. Incredibly beautiful. Wow.
Unfortunate.
That's what when you work in this. Imagine the people who do this for a living all the time. They see all the pain, and that's why you have a lot of admiration for a lot of people in human services.
When I volunteer with Bodie in the court system with abused children, it's mainly girls, and it's just horrific. It is gut-wrenching to hear these girls of all ages and share their stories, and it just doesn't seem possible that anyone could be so cruel to an innocent child.
Yeah, it's amazing. Mm-hmm. I'll never get over it. Mm-mm. That's why I got out of direct services. I always wanted to do what I do. But, boy, I have a lot of admiration for folks who do that. Let's see. One of the things, and I don't know if Anita's there, but they're asking for $7,500 in national dues, Anita. Didn't we have an issue with that last year?
No, we didn't say that.
Yeah, we can't use CHST funds to pay dues. I mean, not national, that type of, we gotta have a bill, we can only, for accounting purposes, we have to pay we can pay bills of the program, but that's a different area. That's something that we couldn't pay that.
Can we speak to that? Do you want us to speak to that so that doesn't happen again?
I think that's a good idea. Yeah. They probably don't know it's a rule, or they wouldn't have put it there.
Just think about it. How can you use government dollars to do that?
I
say due to the
about their high percentage that they are paying to the national one.
Yes.
And I do think they answered it pretty well.
They did, yeah.
But that doesn't mean that CHST can actually be the one funding it.
We can pay a bill. It's just a catch-22 because we have to pass audit requirements, and so they're paying themselves. If you look at it, a due, which is fine because I think there's nothing wrong with having systems so you have centralized, processes. In fact, that's cost-effective. It's just that if you're paying yourself, you can't generate a bill to us like for an accountant or bookkeeping services, that type of stuff. That's what makes it for us from an auditing perspective. We can't. That's why we can't pay it. We could pay for those services if the local chapter themselves incurred those costs to outside vendors, or they hired a staff to do it.
Yeah, that's pretty any grant has restrictions on it, so that's just the specific restriction here. That's standard, and I think they will understand that.
Okay. Let me summarize for you, and then we can go ahead and move to Ms. Sala. She's waiting on you. I think Sala has already emailed you the agency list, so you could, for your ranking form. Have you received your ranking form from Sala? Sala, you haven't? Email.
When was it? What's the name of the document?
I haven't gotten it.
Sala, have you?
I can resend it.
What was the title of the document and when was it sent?
Ranking sheet from half an hour ago. Hold on.
Oh, half an hour ago?
Yes. About
I didn't get it.
20 minutes.
I didn't get anything from you today.
I didn't either.
Looking now.
Oh. Maybe it's back in the article. Yeah.
While Sala's doing that, can I summarize your points for Salvation Army?
Please.
Yes, sure.
Okay, great asset to the community. Agency utilized excellent partnership. Agency provided thorough responses to all questions. We recommended that increase staff diversity in alignment with the client served. And then we talked about national dues. Enforce program excellent goals and objectives, however, include measurements in the objectives, excellent utilization of collaborative partners to implement the program, review goals and objectives. This is the note for me, the review goals and objectives in alignment to the outcome data collection table and measurement framework. So, and I'll build that once I look at that so I can talk about, hey, for example, why not measure this, put this measurement in. Far exceeded outcome indicator, in the outcome data collection table. They provided data regarding clients served by the program. However, they have to provide local community data. As far as impact of COVID, agency made major changes by transitioning their storefront into a day and night emergency shelter to meet the imminent needs of the community. They are also, while they are providing increased services, they are also making plans so that they can respond to even greater increases in service demand. And justification of funding, they clearly explain and justify the need for CHSC funding. They want a partial salary for a social services coordinator and a part-time administrator, and direct assistance. And the other funding, $33,000 for direct assistance, and then we'll put this, and I'll put that comment in there about the funding, about limitation of the $7,500. So that's it. Is anything else, or do you want me to change anything, or are you okay with a modify or add? What's your pleasure?
Are we supposed to fill it out and reply back to all, or just to Sala?
No, you just once you get it, you're gonna rank the programs 1 through how many programs are on this team? Let me look. 11. Mm-hmm. So you got a rank order, which is going to be very challenging on this team. But rank order as far as what program you think is the most important to address the current needs of this community. And then you're going to rank order from the number 1 being the highest priority and number 11 being the least priority. And then we're actually going to give the ranking to Sala. She's going to actually do it right online. You'll be able to see it live, okay?
We don't need to actually fill it out. We're going to do it. We're going to say it to everybody like we usually do?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, we are. Okay. So take about 10 minutes and rank order your program. Melanie, have you already done it?
Yeah, I have.
I figured that. I asked you that question.
Knowing Melanie, she probably already
This is why I asked that question for a reason, Melanie. I wanted to point you out to your team.
I did it. I actually did it yesterday. I've modified it a little bit since we've been talking, but yeah.
I know Melanie. She's always way ahead of every game.
I actually did it too, but I am things around a little bit.
Okay.
And I will say I'm not happy with it, but it is where it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Like a bunch of super smart women on one team. What can you say?
Turn that on. Sorry, y'all, my phone keeps falling. I have it strategically up. Like, I'm not gonna do that today.
I have no idea how your household is so quiet while you've been working with us all day long. I'm very impressed with your children.
You have to be very impressed with Mr. Steele. Cause he,
excellent parenting skills. Demonstrated.
Yeah, the fact that he ain't killed him yet. Yep.
I have a question. Do we need to turn this in because it's embedded, and I would have to recreate the form?
No, you don't, because this document, this is our public record right here. We're creating it.
Great. Thank you.
Oh, definitely. Let's try to take about 3 more minutes. Come back at 3:35.
Too bad we can't have ties instead of ranking.
Well, you can.
You can tie?
You can put like if you
No, you can't personally tie, but you can.
I say I have 2 number ones and.
No. Oh yeah, no. Sorry.
That would make the job easier.
Yeah. Okay, so I got back in about 2 minutes.
Okay, are we ready? Yep, thank you.
I'm going to go first.
Jackie, do you guys want me to send you the comments? Are you okay? Do you think your memory, the memory is pretty solid?
To Gabrielle and I? Sure. It wouldn't hurt.
Okay. So we will send this to the team leaders. Hey, Virginia, I'm going to send this to you. Can you send this to the team leaders? Thank you, dear.
Melanie has agreed to go first. Sarala, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, I'm muting myself. Go ahead, Melanie.
Starting with Red Cross, that one's 5. Second Harvest, 1. Hope, 7. 24-hour emergency is 2. Case management is 6. Emergency relief is 10. Furniture bank is 9. Food program is 3. Mercy House 8. Salvation Army 4. And unhoused 11.
Melanie, I'm gonna go right behind you. I'm laughing because you'll see. American Red Cross 5. Second Harvest 2. Hope Community 6. 24-hour services 1. Case management 4. Emergency relief 9. Furniture bank 10. Food program 7. Mercy House 8. Salvation Army 3. Unhoused Humanity 11. Gabrielle, Shan, Nicole, either one of y'all want to go next?
Okay. So, are you going, Nicole?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's see, the first one, Red Cross 6. Second Harvest 2. Hope Community 5. 24-hour 1. Case management 3. Echo emergency 10. Furniture bank 7. Food for good news 9. Mercy House 4. Salvation Army 8. Unhoused Humanity 11.
Okay. Until problematic, folks. American Red Cross 9. Second Harvest 2. Hope Community 5. 24-hour 3. Case management 7. Emergency relief empowerment 10. Furniture bank 6. Good news food program 8. Mercy House 4. Salvation Army 1. Unhoused Humanity 11.
Gabrielle.
I'd love if someone else went first because I ranked mine and I'm trying to copy over your order with my numbers. Okay. Is there someone else who can go?
Last one.
No, you're it.
I'm it. Okay. All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Red Cross 7. Second Harvest 2. Hope 9. 24-hour 1. Case management 3. Echo 4. Furniture bank 10. Good news food 5. Mercy House 6. Salvation Army 8. Unhoused Humanity 11.
Well, we were all in agreement for who our last program was. And I won't say that we were...
On second and third, so.
Yes.
That's okay.
And I won't say that we were all over the place. There were a couple that were, but we were pretty much aligned, which is always good. I will tell you as a team lead and having to go into this when we've got people all over the place, it's harder to come to a consensus in terms of funding. So I think we shall have a good time discussing the money.
And I don't know about you guys, but I actually feel like I could easily move those numbers around and near the top, especially. The only one that was real clear to me was who was 11. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I really felt like especially 6 through 10 were basically all the time.
Yes, I would agree.
Same.
So it's 10 programs on the team, right?
11, right?
11.
6 is on there twice.
Yeah, we have 2. We have a tie.
Oh, we got tied, so we don't have a 7, and then we go to 8. So that's no. We have 8 because we have 3. We have 3 sixes.
Wow.
Mhm. Yeah, we got 3 6.
So yeah. Which is about where we all were in terms of census. Our number 6 program is okay. Now the fun begins. July.
How much do we get?
970.
What should we short? Is that 1.3 in request?
So last year you allocated. You're not really short compared to last year. You allocated on this team $773,000, and they're requesting almost 1.4 million. You have available to allocate on this team $917,954.
I think this is the most money I've ever seen on a team.
Me too.
Yeah. I mean, we were,
in a while.
We were able to add with the HUD giving us some flexibility of additional money to respond to emergency needs. We were able to add for the first time on this team $159,000. Now we'll have the opportunity. They're giving us 2 years to have additional money. After that, it may go away off of this team. But right now, it's for emergency response for the next 2 years. Yeah. Madam Chairperson, what you've normally done is start allocating, make a recommendation from the top down. You will be completely yourself, and Gabriella will be in charge of this section, and I will remain quiet while you do that. Okay?
Okay.
Wait, what am I in charge of?
You guys are in charge of navigating the team's allocation.
Got it. I'm just assessing.
I will tell you, let's see, Nicole and Melody have been on with me. We start out with the top programs. We look at what their funding requests are, and we kind of whittle it our way down and make some concessions based on things that we have heard in terms of going through the process of writing those recommendations and kudos and things that we have done through each one of the agencies. So our number 1 program is the 24-hour emergency services with CESC, better known as the Kearney Center. They are asking for $300,000. Their allocation last year was $100,000. Do we have any recommendations?
300,000?
I was thinking of putting the baby in the middle and just, yeah, I was thinking about 250.
I could do 250. The background from their application is this program was being funded by United Way, and got cut. So that's why they need significantly more funding.
How much did they say how much they got cut? By any chance, Nicole, do you have that answer?
They did not receive, this left a $200,000 gap.
Okay, so they're asking for us to fill that $200,000 gap.
I can live with 250.
I can do 250.
250? We can start out with 250. And I'm saying start out because as we go through, we may find additional. Food bank operations for second harvest. Last year or the last funding cycle, we got $151,088. They are asking for almost double that at 307. They are a number 2 program.
225?
250.
I could live with 225.
Okay.
Gabrielle, what about you?
I would give them a little bit higher, but
I think so, just because the need is going to increase because of the emergency situation that we're in.
I also just want to tell you too, just a point of framework, because this is the team that is going to serve not just the homeless population, but also people who are living in poverty. So I want you to keep that in mind, because the demand for services is going to be on multiple systems in this team, okay? So we need to keep that in mind, because different people will be eligible for different types of services.
I'm okay with 250 too. I was just worried about the difference between them and our first rank program, but I'm okay with 250 for both to start.
There was one point, I believe, separating Second Harvest in the Kearney Center. Am I correct, Sarah?
Yeah, they were pretty close.
If they were, Shan, Nicole, how are you guys with the 250? Basically, they would get equal funding right now with the Kearney Center. Are you guys okay with that?
Start at 225, because I'm just worried we're going to go big with all of these and then look at cutting programs.
Yeah, that was my concern with the 225, just getting them slightly lower. But I know that we're going to have to do some tweaking. Shan?
kind of go in between the two?
I guess for me, I lean toward the 250 just because I feel like with the 24-hour program, they have done great fundraising resources, and they have some additional avenues that they may be able to tap into versus Second Harvest. And I think the need is going to increase with food services for Second Harvest as we move forward in the next year or two.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear you, but I know that they have been getting a boatload of grants, a boatload of government funding. When I look at what we're giving them, honestly, with $12 million, a $12 million budget, I know they utilize this as community and drawdown. So I'm a little bit more concerned with the Kearney Center and homeless, them not getting as much, even though they did get the $100,000. I'm still, I don't know, I'm not sold on equal just yet.
235.
235, Nicole, Melanie.
I'm good with it.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with that.
235, Melanie?
Yep.
Nicole?
Yes.
Okay. 235.
Jackie, did you mention the budget for Second Harvest?
I did.
Did you want their proposed budget is almost 2.9 million. Just to let you know what that budget is. That their proposed budget, current budget is
We're actually 12.
2.6 million. That's why I wanted to make sure that we clarify that.
Okay, it wasn't 12. Where I saw 12 somewhere. Maybe it was on there 990 somewhere. I saw 12.
No. And then the budget for the Kearney Center.
I didn't realize I had an email kind of hanging out there.
Yeah, and the budget, and just so you know, the budget for the Kearney Center, the current budget is $4.8 million.
Mhm.
Okay. Where in the heck did I see? Hold on, y'all. That 12 is going to bother me. Maybe it was just a 2.
And their budget for the incoming year is almost the same on the attorney.
On the Kearney Center.
Mm-hmm.
So we would just be filling that gap. So I'll tell you what, we got the 250 to 235. We know these aren't hard numbers, so let's go into our number 3 program. Last cycle was 120. They're asking for 160.
And this is one that they said that they were going up by the $40,000 to pay for the diversion specialist. So if they don't get the increase, then they don't get the diversion specialist.
Yeah.
Or they get the money from somewhere else, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I recommend level funding right now.
I agree.
I'm okay with that.
I would have gone slightly lower. You're saying 120. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I would have gone slightly higher, but I can live with that.
You sure?
Yeah, I can live with it. Yep.
Okay. Number 4 program is Salvation Army. They were funded at $20,000 last cycle. They're asking for 75, and I know that was for some positions, if my memory serves me correctly. Nicole, you have the answer.
33,750 was their priority to fill a position.
33,750.
I would like to give them at least that.
Yes,
I agree.
I like that too. Is everybody good with 33,750?
Did they not have two?
There were 2
okay.
Yeah, there were 2 positions.
Okay.
One was the position you're referring to, and the other one was basically an admin type who would help offset a lot of costs.
Okay. Let's see. Now we're going to try number 5, which is the Mercy House. They were funded last cycle $27,250. They're asking for $44,336, and that is they want to make the person full time, I believe.
Didn't they need about 30,000 to do that?
Yeah, it was. I have it. It was 29,920 that they have to get him full time.
30?
Can we do a flat out 30?
Yes.
Team?
Yep.
Flat out 30?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have 3 number 6 programs. They are Good News is Food Program, Big Bend Homeless Coalition's Hope Community, and American Red Cross Disaster Services. tackling the one that's requesting the most would be the Hope Community. Last funding cycle, they were given $248,450. Wow.
Yeah.
We gave them that much money? I'm sorry, y'all.
Can we start with the lowest and work up?
Yeah.
Can we start with the food program instead?
That just, I had to turn the fan on like I had. Food program, they are actually requesting less money, so can we keep them at level funding? Or not give them more? Give them what they asked for? The 16,486?
Yes, we can't give them any more.
I like round numbers. Why did they?
No, not them.
Oh, no. Oh, not the two. Who don't do that? Good news.
Good program.
Good news.
Give them the 16,486.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Just to cut back, Pat, on their 990, their total revenue was $12,514,412. I knew I saw 12 million. From the 990? Yes.
It's not talking. It's not including their food. Is it?
With contributions and grants.
Oh, wow.
Let me. I'm gonna look at that in a second. Okay. Let me look at their stuff.
Okay.
While you guys are moving on.
I'm sorry, y'all. That was bugging me. I try not to be wrong. And I was going to accept that, but I was like, well, I know I saw 12 million somewhere. Sorry, y'all. Okay.
Is Red Cross?
Yes. The Red Cross was funded at 15.
Second number 6. Oh, yeah, Red Cross. Okay.
And they are asking for 70. And they were, that request was, someone had that in front of them?
So when we asked them the question, I think that like $5,000 of it was salary and the rest of it was direct assistant. And that's what would happen if they didn't get parts of direct assistance. He said it would, that this would go towards direct services. So basically, like however much we fund them is however much they have direct assistance.
Okay. Then remember.
Well, I guess at least I should clarify how much they have to spend from the local fund for direct.
Right. Yeah, because I think they wanted like 60 or.
Yeah, I think they said like 65.
I think so.
It was for a certain number of the gift cards.
Yeah, it's like 600, I think.
5,000 for compensation and benefits, and then 65,000 for direct client assistance, meaning the gift card.
Yeah, they were trying to get 100 debit cards at $600 each.
Mhm.
So
If we did 50 instead of 100, yeah, that's all I'm saying. That's 30.
yeah, 30. I did it with 30.
Are we okay with 30, everyone?
Mhm.
Okay. Hope Community.
Where are we with total?
Yeah. You scroll down, it shows the total.
We're at like, we're under 200,000. We funded 715. And we've got.
I'd rather give them what we think we need and then go back and give to the higher ranked ones.
Right.
At this rate, we're able to get what they had last time.
Yes.
Not bad.
Okay, so I want to ask the group this question. They were our number 6 program. They didn't score in the top 5. And they tied with 2 other programs. What didn't we like about the program? Because they're going to take a significant cut. And I want to make sure that what we said. is going to justify this significant cut.
The whole thing just wasn't as strong as some of the others.
Yes. And on top of it, you know what? We were dinging them. One part of it for me was, and I don't want to use this word because I think it's so strong, but it was just the front loading on the top salaries.
Yeah.
That was really like bad taste in my mouth.
And her presentation didn't help any in my mind.
No. We talked about them not taking care of the building. They did have to turn away some people. They are the only ones that house families. They did have to get a PPP loan. Yeah.
I mean, when you say have to get a PPP loan, I think anyone who got one is pretty smart.
Yeah, no. No, I wasn't saying it in the negative. I'm sorry if it came across that way. Not saying it in the negative. They got a PPP loan. I'm just trying to remember all the things that we were saying to them in terms of how to improve their program and what deficiencies we had, because they are, I mean, right now we can't even give them $200,000. And I want to make sure we have the justification for that.
I think the only point I recall, and we did send you the comments, was about the condition of the facility, and they were stating that because of the demands for services, they have been redirecting the repair needs of the facility so that they can address those demands. Outside of that, I didn't see much that was negative. Also, I want a point of clarification and regarding looking at America's Second Harvest. Their 990 audit is very different from every other agency you're seeing because it includes the food, the cost for the food. So that's what inflates the budget worksheet is the actual cash amount of money that the organization has. But if you look at the audit in the 990, that's because they include the food. If you go into the details. Yeah.
I hate to suggest this relatively early, but can we see what happens to the total if we knock both CESC's 24-hour and Second Harvest both down to 200,000 and see what that does to our total?
What? I couldn't hear you.
The thought about what the CESC and the Second Harvest down to 200 and see what that leaves for the rest of them. I don't like it. I'm just wondering what people think.
Well, that's about 85,000.
Yeah, that's about 80. Yeah.
So it'll bring it up to 287,000.
Right.
And we need, am I looking at what we have? So if Hope Community was level, and then Echo was about 50, so that would be 300 just to keep level, not doing anything with Hope Community.
Right.
I think we're going to have to drop those two down. I don't want to do what we almost think we have to.
Yeah. But I don't want to, okay, I tell you what, Sarala, let's not worry about our over-under number. Let's go ahead and I'm going to suggest this, and that way we can see what we need to cut. 200 for Hope Community.
Okay.
Is everybody okay with that?
Yep.
Okay. Then The next one, our number 9 program, Furniture Bank. They were asking for 28. They received 20 in the last funding cycle. They were really vague about it.
They did say the increase on that one was to accommodate another staff person in the furniture store.
Okay. I'm not inclined.
More about that one than they were about their emergency relief one.
Yes, which is why it's higher.
Yeah.
More inclined. Say, what about 25 for that one?
I was thinking 25. I like 25.
Everybody good
So
at 25?
y'all don't think that they can actually fulfill that need with another volunteer
For the furniture
versus
bank?
a full-time staff?
So are you saying level funding? Is that your counselor, Shane?
I would probably go even lower than that.
Oh. Ooh.
And I'm saying that is because our agency has ran a thrift store, and we have ran the thrift store with volunteers, which meant we didn't spend money on staffing. So there is a way to do it, and we did it for many years.
How many,
Your justification again, real quick.
yeah. And how many staff members, if you're, Melanie, if you're looking at justification, Shane, can you tell me how many staff members they have at ECHO?
Let me go back.
We're trying to support one full-time staff salary. Requested CHSC funds would support approximately 46% of the payroll obligation is currently staffed.
And then how many staff members do they have, Shane?
Wait, I'm getting there. What's on that?
Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Furniture bank.
That's 7 total.
And let me look how many case managers they have.
Melanie, you said you got 7 total staff persons?
7 total staff is what it says in the report. And I'm looking at what the budget.
They have one program that we don't see. I don't know how many staff members are associated with that.
Well, I know right now they have 2 staff persons for the furniture.
3.
They've got one full-time staff person and then somebody looks at their 3/4 and somebody looks at their 3/4 time.
Yeah.
Okay, so they were trying, it looks like that quarter-time person, they were paying 7. The full-time person, they were trying to give a little bit of a bump, and then a furniture bank manager.
Yeah.
Huh.
I prefer 25. I'm okay with level. I don't want to give them anything less than level.
Yeah, I don't want to give them anything less than level. Shan,
Okay.
throw us a number. Or you're okay with the 20?
20.
Okay. Is everybody good with 20? Gabrielle, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I'm good.
Nicole?
Yeah.
Okay, their number 10 is emergency relief and empowerment resources, of which we didn't know what the empowerment resources were. They received 31.5. They were asking for 40. And I assume that 40,
Salary and benefits for one resource coordinator.
I'm okay with leveling it, the 31.5, or even maybe going down to 30.
I could do 30, but I want to try not to do any lower than that.
Yeah, that would be my lowest. Nicole, Shan, Gabrielle.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Which leaves us with unhoused humanity. We would be literally sending them back to the drawing board. This would be their second cycle. What's the pleasure of the committee and the team?
I mean, do we want them to survive or not?
I think
That's the question. That is the question.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I'll throw this out here. Oh. Go ahead, Nicole.
I mean, I definitely don't think we have to go as high as, I wouldn't give them level funding. They say that they need at least 6,000 to exist. But giving them that 6,000 without any direct assistance, I mean, are they going to be able to do anything, or is that just a wasted 6,000?
What about 10? So we give them the 6,000 plus 4,000 to start with and encourage them to do their crowdfunding thing again?
To get their act together?
Exactly.
10 is
I
out
would
there.
say 11.5. I mean 11.5. That's half of the 23. That gives you a little bit more. It covers your 6,000, and you still haven't spent your money from this past fiscal year also.
I'm okay with that.
11.5.
Mm-hmm.
Gabrielle.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I had the number 10 in my head, so 11.5 is fine.
I had 10 as well.
I think it's really a good faith, like, okay, we're going to invest in you one more time here.
You got one more
Yeah,
shot.
you got one more.
This is it.
Okay, so the reason why I did that is I wanted to see how much we could shave off. And it looks like about 58,783, it's almost 60,000. And,
Charlotte, can you reduce the screen so we can see all of them at all? There we go.
yeah. Okay, so, sorry, y'all have to see my face.
Carla, can you kind of make it bigger on the screen? So in other words, don't show all rows AF to AV or whatever. Just kind of make it a little bit bigger. Is it possible? Because I'm seeing a lot of black screen. A black?
Answer that question.
I don't know.
So no, she can't. When you share your screen, you can only see a portion of it, Gabrielle. I'm not sure. It looks like you're not on your iPad this time. If you scroll a
Yeah,
little bit over to
I'm
the
on a laptop.
so you should be able to get this. If you scroll a little bit over to the
Listen, I close the chat window when I have more. It's okay.
Okay.
I close the chat window and I can see more.
Okay, so this is our conundrum here. We have our top two programs. We tried to give them as close to their request as possible. And for all intents and purposes, our top two programs basically were almost a tie. With right now 15,000 separating them. If we split the cut in half, saying 220 to CESC and 205 to Second Harvest, would you guys be able to live with that, or
Let's see what
a little more? Okay. So 220 to CESC and 205 to Second Harvest.
That helps.
We could actually give Second Harvest 206, 218.
Yeah. Bingo.
All right, team, how do y'all feel about that?
I don't love that really significant cut to Hope Community. That's going to be, I mean, that's $60,000. That's going to be tough for them to fulfill that.
Okay, so, because right now we're at 2, yeah, that is 50.
We can't even give our top rank more than 220. How can we give them more?
Right.
Yeah,
Like rank 6.
That's right.
Gabrielle, what was your recommendation for CEST case management? Because you had mentioned about giving them less with case management.
I can't remember what exactly the number I had. Let's see, where are they on the thing?
Did level?
Yeah, we did level because we knew the 40 they were asking for is for diversion.
Gosh, I hate that though, because I want them to do diversions, you know.
I do. I wish I could say, do the 140.
When we first started, the number I had in my head was 140. So I kind of, this is so hard, you know.
It is. Especially because Big Bend Homeless Coalition actually was number 1 in terms of funding in our previous allocation. But they were not our number 1 program, I don't think.
No.
And
I mean, different structures just are going to have different costs.
right.
That's true.
That's the hardest part because they are literally the only place for homeless families.
It is.
And that is a drastic, I mean, $50,000 is a drastic cut. However, I would hate to see them cut services when they could cut some of those front-loaded salaries.
The salaries on what end?
The high end. And
that's not going to happen.
No, I know. The first thing will be services. But that's the second part.
Yeah, I know.
And I say that because I'm going back to their salary sheet. And I know they would never ask for kind of what we have going on here. But they've got some really significant positions that pay basically $37,000. And then you've got a financial specialist that's at 51. They've already pushed them up to 54. Already pushed the director of finance up to 84. They've already pushed the executive director up to 92.
What's their overall budget?
Yeah, this is on Form 3, their salary information. This is their current fiscal year budget. Their last fiscal year, like when we funded them this 248, instead of, and I know EDs do a lot of work and they're highly compensated. Well, they try to be as compensated as they can in the nonprofit sector, but that's $7,500. That's money, especially when you're telling me I don't have the money to fix the air condition, but I've given myself a salary, given the director of finance a salary increase, and the finance specialist going down on the administrative assistant. I'm sorry, say that again.
This is a bad year for them to try that. It just didn't, like you said, didn't fit well.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, they've already, from last fiscal year's budget and the current fiscal year, they've already done that. I'm not even looking at proposed.
The 248, was that an increase?
I don't think so. I think that might have been like at level, or I don't know. Pat, can anyone speak to that?
What happened on this team here, we actually, and it affects a couple of teams. There was outside funding that the city was actually funding Hope additional money outside of CHSP, and that was true for a couple of other agencies. The new commission mandated that all outside funding, all agencies who are eligible for CHST funding, that funding be brought into the CHST process and put on those applicable teams. So that's why that amount. So actually the additional money that they were getting outside of CHST originally is $135,575. So that's why it's an extra amount compared to what you guys allocated last year.
Oh, okay. Well, I feel
this is the first time they've had to compete for that money. Just to let you know, that's what's happened. That's the difference.
Okay. Okay. There's just a big gray block in front. Okay. Okay. So that makes me feel better because I did not remember us giving them a whole bunch. I mean,
yeah, I heard you struggling. I should have told you then, but I was getting you to
have you over here swearing bullets and everything.
Okay. But I was waiting on you to ask me the question. Now you
I got you. Okay, then. So basically, what you're saying is, and I remember this because being a part of other people not on this group. The city says, hey, if it doesn't go through CHST, we're not funding you, especially if you are a human services provider. Therefore, everything that Hope was getting, CHST and non-CHST. So we should be able to kind of walk that through, walk that back through their budget when they had city non-CHST funding.
I just pulled up their award letter, and at the last cycle, we awarded them $112,000.
And if you want additional information, just pull up their budget worksheet in their application.
Yeah, I have $123,000 in their current budget.
123,385.
Yeah, they're asking for like double that based on our numbers.
Yeah. But okay, wait a minute.
That 200,000 is good.
Okay, but go back to the first page, that 112,875. Where did they come up with the 123,385 on the current fiscal year budget for CHST? Y'all see that?
Yeah, I don't know.
They are on two different teams, so they also get a small amount of money for their the summer program for the kids to go into summer camp.
But Pat, I got you. But it says Program Hope.
Oh yeah, you're right. Hope was independent.
385, and then last fiscal year, because we funded them for 2 years, and we didn't. It was the same funding for both, correct?
Correct.
See what their fiscal year is. I don't want to do that.
I think. Why did you tell me that?
Pat, was it the change for change? Did they add the change for change?
They probably did. They probably. We had additional change for change money. That we allocated on this team after CHST was over. So each of these funded programs got $10,000 additional this year, just for this 1 year. And so some of them might have inadvertently put it into the CHST allocation instead of the city's allocation. Because if you notice in the budget worksheet, you also have you have different revenue categories. You have city as well. That's why I said if you want to know the scope of anyone's funding, you really got to go back to the budget worksheet.
Exactly.
You all gave them $112,000 last time. We're giving them $200 now. Then that's pretty good.
Right. I mean, then I want to go down some. I'm sorry.
No, but so they still are losing. I mean, so it's still a cut to funding for them. It's just that now they have to compete for the funding. But it's still going to be that, like, if you look at what they're providing now and how much money it takes to provide their services, they're losing $50,000 from that.
Right.
And what is under their salary information, the refire case manager and refire co-instructor.
Well, they're not bad, are they?
That's what I'm saying. Are they operating a refire program, or was
they are actually applying to the Promise Zone team. So they've applied to three teams. This team, youth character building, and the Promise Zone team. They're applying for refire on the Promise Zone team for funding.
Okay.
Nicole's right. They did make the difference in their budget by taking money away from other City of Tallahassee allocations and putting it into CHSP. So, I mean, it did account for that in their budget.
But I guess, Pat, my issue now is, you said y'all gave them 10,000. Was it 10,000 even, or that's still a roundabout number? Because I'm still not getting from the 112 up to 123.
It was $10,510. Did you hear me, Jackie?
Yeah, $10,510.
Yeah.
Plus 2. Yeah, okay, that was it. That's what they did. Okay. All right, I feel better now, because
you gotta work those numbers.
gotta work the numbers. The numbers right now are important.
I will tell you, just because that's true for every program on this team, we did let them know that the Change for Change funding was just 1 year, not guaranteed to be carried over, because we don't have that same amount to even allocate this year in Change for Change. So that was just one shot of allocation.
Okay, Pat. So I guess this is my other question. Because the 280, 248, 450 on their programs, they still have City of Tallahassee, not CHSP, 771,575. But of that 248, 450, that part was coming from Hope, because I'm still looking at, it was like 606, 575. That was City of Tallahassee, not CHSP, under program Hope. Because I just want to, listening to Nicole and looking at this, I don't want to leave them so in flux. That's my kind of angst, is leaving them in flux.
Mm-hmm. I think if they make smart financial choices and not give your upper management the $33,912 raise, then the basic of the rest of the program stuff will be $214,000. Now that still makes us, have a shortfall of, $14,538. But like I said, if they don't give their executive director, director of finance, and finance specialist raises,
We can't tell them.
I know.
Yeah, we can't tell them that.
I know.
They could take what we give them and they could people at the top with salaries that they took.
And those raises
are $300,000 that they were asking for. So with this, it would be a cut on top of that. So definitely wouldn't be giving those raises because the extra's not there, but also needing to look at cut things because now they're not even level.
What if we took the $6,218 from the second harvest and gave it to them? I know it's not much. I'm just throwing it out there.
Well, I guess I've been trying to back into the 248, 450 because I guess, Pat, this is another question for you. Does that mean that $600,000 that the city of Tallahassee was giving. Okay, now I'm looking at the proposed fiscal year.
Okay.
The city of Tallahassee is still giving them $471,000 for the program, which looks like it is a 606,575. Hold on, I'm sorry, y'all.
And that's from the housing division of our department. That comes from housing, a different fund.
Is that pretty stable?
Yes, it is.
Minus 471. So it's 135,475. It's the difference of what they're not getting in this proposed fiscal year from last fiscal year. Do y'all see what I did? Okay, so I'm looking at proposed fiscal year. The city of Tallahassee, not CHSP, is 471.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, it was 606, 475, I think. Yes, 606, 475. So they lost 135, 475. And I guess that's why they're trying to kind of get as close to, they're still at a 30, still going up 35,000 in expenses. For this program, because I'm looking at total expenses, $931,112, and the $968,800. So they still went up 35,000. So if we took basically 35,000, that's level from that 304,170.
Where would we pull 35,000 from?
Well, no, I'm saying that's the difference between the two budgets. It was $931,112 for current fiscal year. Proposed, they're trying to make it $968,800.
Okay.
So, trying to work some math here, y'all. 269. So they'd have to plug a basically $69,000 hole is what the issue would be. And so let me give y'all my methodology. So level funding, if we gave them $200,000, they'd have to find $69,170. And basically what I took was the difference between $931,112 and $968,800 was like 30 something. I took that off of the CHSP allocation, which gave me the $269,170. And if we're giving them $200,000, that's kind of what they would have to plug to be level with the current services. Does that make sense?
It does.
But did we say in there that we wanted to do more fundraising and grant writing?
Yeah, they need to.
Right now, basically
They have a pretty decent grant list.
yeah, I'm interested as to why, but of that grant, only about 40,000 goes to Hope Community. Of the awards grants direct assistance, 36.9 go to Hope Community. Other 1.4 goes to other programs. But the compensation and benefits almost about 40% looks like is at Hope Community.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out where to put the unrestricted request.
Yeah.
I'm looking at a lot of the grants, like the Veterans Administration. I'm sure that's very, very restricted on what they can spend it for.
Right.
I'm going to suggest when we get to a stopping point to take a quick stretch break or something. I don't know about you, but my brain is fading, and
I think this is actually a good time.
Okay.
Yeah, probably just a good time.
Yeah, because we're trying to figure this thing out.
5 minutes just to stretch and get our brains kind of re-centered.
My OCD, 7 minutes, 4:45.
I'm good with that. Thanks.
Okay. See you back at 4:45. A participant has joined the meeting.
A caller just joined the meeting. Can you announce yourself, please?
Hi, Anita. It's Virginia.
Oh. Stop it, Virginia.
Virginia, you on Friday, you almost got booted out of the meeting.
That's fine. I will call right back until you move into the lobby.
All righty. I didn't realize I think you made me the host, so okay.
Oh, that was hilarious. I think we needed that.
You're welcome. I'm here with her.
Yeah, I think you did need that break. a good time to break down so you can have a moment to walk away and then rethink it. And just kind of think about, this is a tough one. That's why you and the two of you guys are the team leaders on this team, because I knew tough decisions are going to be made on this team. And this is the team with some of the greatest demands for the community is relying on these programs and services. So,
yeah, Hope Community, we understand that they are the only ones housing homeless families. And when you're the only, it's kind of, basically sometimes you got to take the good with the bad. Because it bothers me, especially when you look at the salaries and you can't tell them what. But I know if I was on this board and we're talking about the way that it looks, and I come to the facility and it doesn't look good, but my executive director is like, yeah, so I want to get a raise. I'm thinking about $7,500. Like, no, we need to take that $7,500 and take these walls. What's wrong with you? I guess that's for real my angst. Or we need to make sure that we service the air conditioning because it's important that air quality, and especially now with the pandemic, air quality is very important. That's not something I need you to skimp on.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the current board is as capable as previous boards, if I can say that. In oversight of what's going on. So team, this is the conundrum that we have. Right now, we have literally doled out all of our funding. However, we have some angst. And the angst is we have Hope Community, which is a number 6 program. There were some things that we did not like about not necessarily the program, but the operation of the agency, which I think is the reason why it's at number 6. Knowing that the city has changed its model and funding, they are receiving from this team an actual increase in funding from this team. However, they will be getting a decrease in funding from the city of Tallahassee in terms of the human services budget. So,
that's a suggestion I don't really like, but I'm going to put it out there.
What do you mean by that comment, Jackie, about human services budget?
Well, because, and maybe I've gotten the dialogue between you and I wrong, but you were saying that the city decided that through the human services portion that everything would have to come through this process. So
Correct.
So that's what I'm saying. They received it. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure.
That's so I don't want to misspeak. So if you need to correct me, please do by any means.
And what was the suggestion you didn't want to suggest?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
I'm waiting with bated breath.
Looking at our other 2 highest, looking at both CSC's 24-hour emergency and American Second Harvest, if we knock both of them to a flat 200, which would double CSC and give Second Harvest almost 50,000 more, and then that would then we get the difference to Hope Community. It's still not leveling them, but it's closer.
Yeah, they're not losing 69. They're losing
40 something.
What do you think?
What's the group think about that?
I don't like it, but I see the logic. Group, how do we feel?
Yeah.
Nicole, that was like,
I sense the overwhelming
I mean, it's just a hard decision. I mean, so knowing like the full picture of like, so CESC, which I can never say correctly.
Nope.
So they're trying to do that increase to get back to level funding because they lost United Way funding. So, we're giving Second Harvest an increase, but as far as like next year's budget and how much local funding from our area is coming in, CESC is still not going to be at the same level. Now that's on another program. CHST is its own thing. It cannot fix other issues that might be out there. So, which leads us to our no good answers. So,
yeah.
And just to make sure you're clear, the Hope Community's $248,000, that includes your original allocation for this team plus the $135,575 that was outside funding, and that totals $248,450. Because I noticed you've been saying $269,000. I just don't know where that number is coming from, Jackie.
Oh,
This is the precise number.
She's talking about $6,000 shortfall.
Just a shortfall, Pat. Let me, I don't know if you remember what I was doing was taking their budget, their total budget, just trying to see exactly how much of a shortfall. So I was taking from their current fiscal year budget on Form 3 and then going over to their proposed fiscal year budget. So that's where that $69,000. But I understand what you're saying. It was just, we were just trying to figure out how much of an impact. So that was more about impact.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
No, I got it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I was just trying to Nicole's point, she wanted to make sure that we weren't like totally gutting, yes, and making them so that it becomes this major outcry, and then we feel worse than we feel right now.
Gabrielle, what do you think about the drop?
I mean, I feel the same way you guys do. I don't really, it's not ideal, but it's not like it's not a choice. They don't have a lot of choices.
Yeah.
They have 11 programs, and they're all competing, and the only real, there's several that are very low dollar amounts that are a little easier to have wiggle room with, but then there's these huge chunks that add up fast. So it sounds terrible that we're funding them for significantly less than what they requested, but their budgets are huge compared to the little programs.
Right.
Programs do as much for the people they help, so it's kind of like we don't want to gut everything.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Melanie, I hate it, but I like it.
All right, so then
I think when Melanie proposed that's how she felt too. I'm thinking.
Yeah. So I guess it's changing CESC's 24 hours to 200, and then changing Second Harvest to 200, and then putting the remaining difference into Hope.
Yeah, the 26,218 into Hope. I will ask the question, are we all like not feeling great about it?
Definitely not feeling great about it.
But we're in agreement that we are all not feeling great about it.
Do we get to do the percentage thing like we normally do or not?
I think it's there. She may just have to move it.
Oh, okay.
Like slide it over a little bit.
I'm not sure I want to see that, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't think I want that information.
Hide it. Shan, how you feel?
Pretty much in the same.
Well,
what does that mean, Jan? You need to say what you feel.
Yeah. So, for me, because all of the programs, definitely serve humans. But again, I see the faces, of course, at Hope Community. I also see the faces at the 24-hour program. I understand the need for case management and diversion program. I just kind of, I hate that we have to make the sacrifice that we're having to make. But if there is any sacrifice, I would much rather have the funding put towards the direct service of having access for people who don't have services or can't get services, that they have access to the services such as the 24-hour and Hope Community, because there's nothing else like that. And we have a big, homeless population demand.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
that's
It sounds like you want to have more money on this team, Shan. That's based on what you said. Because, again, like we talked about earlier, homeless people and the working poor they all need services on this team. So we got to deal with the whole range of consumers who will be demanding support for the next 2 years from all of these programs.
Yeah.
well, ladies. I know we're all uncomfortably comfortable.
It's fun, but it wasn't.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, we have allocated all of the money. We are not happy about the allocations, but I feel like we have done as good a job as we can, given the fiscal constraints. If we are okay, if everybody would kind of let me know that we are okay, and then we can wrap this up.
So we really don't want to look at the percentages just for kicks.
No.
Not until we say okay.
Ignorance is bliss. Okay.
Sometimes you just don't need to know.
We can extrapolate.
Yeah.
Okay, so Nicole, did I hear an okay?
Yes.
Shan, I heard an okay.
Yeah.
Melanie.
Yep.
Gabrielle.
Yeah. If you guys would close your eyes and let me see the percentages. I like information.
Okay,
The only
Charlotte.
yeah.
Go ahead and tell us the sentences. Melanie, look away.
Don't look.
And then, Kat, I think you had something to say too.
Know that percentages are going to be more, depending on the amount of money. It may seem more extreme than someone else, but, you got to keep into mind the amount of money that you've allocated per agency.
Sure.
Do we need to email our rating forms back to who? Back to Virginia or?
Yes, please. If you could email all of your rating forms back to Virginia, if you could do it tomorrow or by Monday at the latest, we would be very grateful.
Well, we can just all do
Can
it.
we fax them?
Yeah, I'm trying to do it today.
Yeah.
Tyler, do we have a spot to fax?
Because I wrote mine out.
Is that the assessment guide?
Or
Yes, the assessment guide. Shan, you don't have accessibility to your email right now or a PDF. Can you PDF it and send it to Tyler or send it to Virginia?
You take a picture of it with your phone and email it.
Okay.
It's a lot of pages, though. That's a lot of pages. But Shan, do you have? Oh, you can mail them to us. You wanna? So that
I'll go back in and fill them in. I just had printed them and wrote them out. But I can go back and just add the numbers in.
Sorry, Jan. Thank you.
Are we able to get those percentages? I do want to make sure my team is.
Paula, did you hear the request?
No, I wasn't sure whether. I heard some people say they didn't want the percentage.
Yeah, but if one person says they want it, then we have to do it.
I wasn't sure.
Mhm. I'm wondering what Miss what she's thinking, or what she's always thinking.
I had the old. Okay, hold on. This and then Virginia, you can jump in if you have a shortcut.
You trying to do Sarah?
Yeah.
Get those percentages. Well, while Sarah's doing that, I will let you know that had a wonderful time with all of you. I thought that we had very thoughtful, just worked very well together. Pat, we worked very well together.
Actually, you work incredibly well together. You guys are. I think you guys are similar in the way you think. Some things.
Yeah, we.
Extenuating circumstances.
Yes.
Yeah.
And minus my food.
Right.
and snacks. Don't forget. Yeah. And
I'll agree on food too.
Don't forget your afternoon snacks we used to give you too, remember?
Yes. Well, I had a bowl of fruit. I started out. So it's time for my new bowl of fruit.
I've got dark chocolate covered nuggets.
Oh, that's good.
Here's your percentages.
Okay.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Well, that's the request. That's not the allocation. You wanted the allocation, not the request.
Right.
This is what you have difference between last year and this year. No, that's not what you wanted.
No, if you look, they were allocated 15,000 currently, and they're asking, so that's 50%. So they're I think that's looking at request versus allocation. Kids are tired of being quiet. They've been so good
back there. Yes. They want me.
Aww. It's time for mommy time.
Yeah. And Daddy doesn't care anymore.
Anyway.
Daddy's ready to take a nap.
So he's probably going to jump in the car and leave.
I don't blame him.
He's like, I'll be back. It's your turn.
I know that's right. Tag, huh? Make a tag. Okay, there you go, my lady.
Okay, so what are these percentages of? They're weird.
It's the 2019 to 20 allocation versus the 20 to 21 allocation.
Okay. Okay, so I got you. 50% increase to American Red Cross, 24% increase Second Harvest,
Right.
10% decrease, 31% increase
50%
on that program.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you wanted to do the percentage to last fiscal cycle.
No, this is fine. This is what they want.
Would you
Okay.
give us 100% of these? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's a camera on.
That can be right. The calculation.
There would be a 50% decrease. for unhoused humanity.
You look at that because there's no way it's minus 100.
Because it's 100%. So that's the only one that doesn't work. All the rest of them make sense.
Yeah.
Can you just click on the box on there and just see if the calculation went off? One of the two that says minus 100%.
The bottom. Sorry.
Unhoused humanity.
At the bottom.
Yeah, there you go. And the bottom. Row 128, 129. Yeah, there you go. Okay, 129. Oh, I see the problem.
There it is.
It is off.
It's not the right.
It's off.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to tell you. I think we should use the last year's allocation number here.
No. Darla, go back. It's the
go
back to it. The formula's just off.
It says the same number minus the same number.
See, when you do that, and then go to unhoused humanity.
Okay.
It's good on it. Okay.
Go to that one at the top, right there. See, it's 128. What? No.
Huh?
Oh, no, we saw it. I saw the 129.
Oh, I saw it too. I thought they both said P. I thought they both said P.
They did.
That's right. How is it saying minus 100%?
Oh, it does say P. Wait, double click. So
let me ask you, are the rest of the percentages correct?
They look like they are. Yeah, okay. Shouldn't it be from this allocation to here? Shouldn't it be 100% increase? So the base number should be N, column N, is what I'm right here, instead of T. Because it's 100% increase.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
All right, try that. It is.
Roll with it.
Whatever it is, I can.
I think there.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
That's better.
Okay. So.
It still makes sense. Yeah.
Danielle, how you feeling? I mean, not Danielle. Why is that in my neck? Gabrielle, how are you feeling?
I can live with this. You know, it's less than ideal. I think we did the best we could given what we had and what they gave us, and
right.
I can live with this.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right, guys, it's been fun doing another year.
Okay, hopefully, so can we do a group hug like this? A virtual hug? This is the new virtual hugging.
Let me get my video going.
Yeah, so you can do a virtual hug. This is about as close as we can get. Guys, I can't tell you enough how grateful we are for your willingness to work on this team, and you guys have been careful, thorough, thoughtful. You've considered every variable possible, I think, throughout this day. So I think you did a great job. You can only allocate what you have. So that's our reality, right? Only thing we can do, hopefully, advocate for more money for human services in this community.
Has left the meeting.
And one day we might have a better budget, so we can do this and fund programs at the level that we really would like to. But thank you so much, each and every one of you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, Pat.
Oh, you did. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hey, can you have Carla send me another review team assessment guide, because the one that I have that was sent to me, I can't type it. It's not fillable, so that based on my computer.
You don't have is that correct?
I do. This is a brand new computer, and so it has everything. But for whatever reason, I can't type into it, and
really?
I had a hard time opening it, so I had to send it to my job to have them to print it.
Oh, that's right.
And I went and picked up.
I remember. Gab, do you have one? Did you already convert yours to fillable?
Yeah, I have it in PDF and in Word, and I can send it in both if you'd like. Can you just remind me of your email?
Yeah, it's S. Pompey TOMPEY@rescuecounty.com. Yeah.
And you want the guide, you want the assessment guides and nothing else, right?
Right.
That's what I need to put in.
Okay. Gabriella, can you CC those documents to me too? So if anyone else has a problem like Shan, I can actually send that document to them as well.
Sure, and just to clarify, it's the CHSP guide, not the assessment itself. Is that correct?
No, she wants the CHSP assessment guide, the actual instrument that you have to fill out, the evaluation instrument.
Yes, that we have to turn in.
Okay.
Yes, Sarah, I just got it from you. Let me see if I can attest it.
Well, go ahead and send it to me if you don't mind. So that if other folks have Shan's problems, we can actually help them out since you've already done the hard work, Gabriella.
Okay, and Shan, were you close to that?
Hold on one second. I have to enable editing.
Okay.
I can type in the one that Farla sent to me. Thank you.
Okay. Everybody is okay? Is Miss Jackie already gone?
Yep.
I think so. Okay, guys.
All right.